What did I just do? There we go. I'm live? All right, there we go. I think we're live. Finally.
Alive and live.
I am so sorry that took us so long. That was my fault. I was unprepared, trying to figure out how to use StreamYard on the everything. So, hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to EDC-NC. I'm here with Chad Landman, the man, the myth, the legend. We actually have kind of become buddies here lately, and I thought it'd be good to have him on the stream today instead of just a regular old live stream. So today we're going to be chatting a little bit about slip joints and fixed blades making a comeback. But first things first, you introduce yourself, Chad.
Hey everyone, I'm Chad Landman. Landman EDC is known on YouTube, and really happy to be here. Sam, I'd say we're becoming very good buddies. I'd say
Yeah.
we've had several phone conversations now, and really appreciate you and everything you're doing, and I really appreciate you having me here on your stream. And I'll repost this to my channel here later or maybe later today. But man, I really appreciate it. It's going to be great to talk to you today.
Well, it's great to have you here. So, a little bit of background. What got us started talking? Was it Discord?
Oh, I'd put something on the chat on the YouTube. I'm following the live video on YouTube too.
Oh, got you. Good.
Gabe
Yeah,
Harlan says good morning. So Gabe, good morning.
Good morning, sirs. Let's see. How do I get the chat? There it is. Oh, and I can do this. Ooh, fancy. I'm used to doing this all off my iPhone, so this is a little bit different.
Yeah, you're a big computer. You're a big computer guy now, man.
Yeah, big computer guy.
Yeah,
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Hey, you'll learn every stream, every video. Got to learn something, right?
Yeah, no kidding. So, fixed blades are making a comeback. Now, I've already did a live stream on this before, but we were talking on the phone yesterday about, maybe about what we talk about, and this is what came up. So, you want to get us started with, like, what got you kicked off into fixed blades again, and stuff like that.
Well, whatever else gets us kicked off into something than the trendsetter that is Taylor Martin, right?
Yeah.
He is a good salesman. If nothing else, the man is a great salesman, and he really makes everything just seem like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And he has just been saying for a while now, probably 3, 4, 5, 6 months now, about how he's getting really back into fixed blades. And he mentioned this one, and I am not a fixed blade person. I'll tell you that right now, not a fixed blade person. And I don't like to carry fixed blades unless I'm camping, unless I'm going out outdoorsy, doing outdoorsy things and stuff like that. And I got this, he came up with this News knives, this little bitty, and I don't have it with me. I forgot to bring it with me. I got my Corgi though, but this little bitty News knives, and I'm going to be doing a video on it soon, but it was just an amazing, tiny little 2-inch bladed, 3-inch handled fixed blade that I just immediately, when he's talking about it, I fell in love with it. Now, not the cheapest. In fact, not anywhere near cheap, as a matter of fact. But I sat there and I said, you know what? This could be like a main Christmas present. So I asked for it for Christmas. I said, if you're going to give me something for Christmas, it's supposed to be something that you don't really need, that you just want. Here it is. And I told my wife, and guess what? She got it for me. And I got the Wicket with green micarta, textured micarta, and it is the best. I wish I had it with me here. I just went to a men's breakfast over here in another part of our campus here this morning, but it is a just wonderful little fixed blade. And if I can find something that pocketable, that carryable, is that a word?
Yeah,
carryable. I will carry a fixed blade if I could. It is that good. So really looking forward to that. I was even eyeballing a couple more that he dropped yesterday on his website. And I mean, he just makes superb stuff. He's out of New Jersey. I think his name is Tim Nugent. And he does an excellent job. I don't think he needs any more promotion because his stuff flies off the shelves pretty quickly. But at the same time, it's one of those things that, Taylor shared it on his channel. And of course, we all kind of fall into that trap. And sometimes I was like, well, I don't need a fixed blade. No, I don't need a fixed blade. I got these great flippers and I need to stay in my lane and all this other stuff. Nope. Fell right into it, Sam. Fell right into it.
It's kind of hard not to, being 100% honest with you.
Yep.
The small fixed blade. So I actually met him. I've not bought any of his knives, but I met him at Georgia Bushcraft this year, and really cool guy. I didn't have the funds at the moment to pick up any of his knives or anything, but really cool guy. And man, they are so like, well, I'll put it this way. I might have to save up for either if they're at the fall gathering, or spring gathering or blade show. I'm going to have to save up and pick one of those up more than likely.
The ergonomics on them, like you think a blade that small is going to be, it's unusable, but it's Nitro V Steel. It's the sliciest little thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so sharp. And it is just, I keep going back to the word exquisite. It's that good. It's exquisite, man.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get my hands on one of those. Gabe said, I have the primitive wicket. He also said, I would really like to find a deep carry leather sheath for the primitive wicket.
Me too.
So the thing I could suggest to anyone is find a local leather maker. I just happen to be blessed enough that my cousin does leather work. He actually makes, I've talked about him a few times on videos, my wallet that I carry. And I'm sorry that I'm looking down here. I've got the computer down here and the camera up there and all that. But he makes leather wallets, and I love them. And so I haven't commissioned him to do one yet. He's making a leather desk mat for me right now. But I want to commission him to make me a knife sheath. So get him to work with Ulti clips, stuff like that. Oh, here is Andy Dickinson. Hi, Sam. I got 3 from Nuge at the fall gathering. Love them. You got 3 of them? Woo. Andy out here throwing around the big bucks.
Hey, and you know what else, Sam? I found a local small business maker at Blade Show Atlanta when I went. Soulbound Leatherworks. Soulbound Leatherworks. And I purchased a little clip leather holster from them for like $30 that fits like a traditional knife or a slip joint or something. And I got to looking on their website. They've got custom sheaths, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, find yourself a local leather maker if you can. I've got 1 or 2 that I could probably lean on here in Tennessee, especially in Middle Tennessee. But at the same time, Soulbound Leatherworks, they do fantastic stuff. And I think after I saw them after Blade Show, they were sold out of basically everything. So
really
good stuff.
So let me show this off real quick. Finally got the Yukon toolbox. This thing it's just fantastic.
Nice. Yeah.
I've got this full of knives and everything, but it's good. It's right behind me. Kind of planned it that way. I found this one. It is Useful Leather Company. And this is kind of a good segue into slip joints. Of course, we'll go back and I've got some fixed blades to show off here, but some great little leather slips. Now, I don't happen to have a slip joint that fits in these perfectly, but they are pretty great. The only thing is, I wish they maybe had a little bit more of a like cutout for being able to open it up and reach in and get the slip joint.
Right.
But they're beautiful, man. I think I paid $10 for 2, which is insane for this well crafted of leather.
Yeah, and you've got the Hitch and Timbers. You know, you've got Hitch and Timber out there that makes that kind of stuff, and they're probably one of the most popular ones if I've seen them everywhere. But yeah, I'd say that the sheath game for specific knives, pretty decently hard to find that perfect sheath, because that's one of those battles if you want to find a perfect way to carry that, and especially for a fixed blade. Now, the one that Nuge made has a custom Kydex sheath that comes with it, and it's got an Ulti clip on it, obviously. So you've got that deep carry, and the Kydex clip is probably an inch or 2 into the pocket, which is, perfect for me, because I do not want something. I want something to maybe poke out maybe that much, and the handle pokes out about that much, and that's it. It's fantastic, man. It's fantastic.
One that I've really enjoyed is this one from Wade Knife and Tool. Andy, if you're still in here, I don't know if you are, you need to check this guy out. He's from Utah. I met him at Blade Show this year, and Allie got me this for Christmas. It is the Wade Knife and Tool Manifold. He makes this in drop point like this, and a Warrenclyffe, which you can imagine. It's kind of like that. It's got a few different angles on it. It is an absolute beautiful knife, and the guys over at Crispy Donut Community are doing a collab with him, and it's it's beautiful, man. It's going to be gorgeous.
And Ollie from France is chiming in. France, man.
Wow.
Love both of your content. EDC community is so tiny here. Man, I'd love to take a trip over there and see how tiny it is. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you for the love from Italy, or from France. My apologies. That is awesome. Yeah, thank you so much.
What part of France, Ollie? Chime in there. What part of France are you from? I've been one time when I was in the military, and that was it. But yeah, thank you so much for being on the stream, and thank you everybody for tuning in here. I was going to try to post something to my channel here, or my community tab, so we could get a few more people over here.
Yeah, I need to do something similar, but both of my things are taken up right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
If you guys hear me stuttering and fumbling, it's because I had to join the StreamYard thing weird on my computer, so I'm getting feedback every time I talk. It's kind of like that thing they put on you, you know. Oh, what is the name of that clip?
Is it you're on like a 5-second delay or something?
Yeah. No, it's like it's really only about a second or something, but boy, it's throwing me off a little bit. What was the name of that? Donnie Roberts, Officer Donnie Roberts. I don't know if you've ever seen that with the speech jammer. But anyways, let's get back to fixed blades a little bit.
Yeah, Gabe said something about the Ulti Link, and I picked up one of those at Blade Show, and I don't know about it, man. It's a little, it's very versatile, and it clips on, clips off really quickly. But I felt like that is for the Ulti clip for like fixed blades, maybe. That is for something like you're mounting on a backpack or mounting on, I don't know, something else. So it's not really necessarily for carry. More, I could be wrong about that, but maybe somebody has done it a little bit better than I did. But I did pick up one of those at Blade Show, and it works really good to maybe put some stuff into like a big sheath or something like that you're going to carry on the outside of a bag or the inside of a bag, something to organize it, and something that you need to take off really quickly and things like that. So, but yeah, that little tiny Ulti clip though, that just fits on the side of a Kydex sheath. Man, it's amazing what they've done with that thing. Yeah, that little thing right there.
Yeah, I love this thing. This is the only way I'll carry a fixed blade. Well, not only, but you know, favorite probably.
Well, it's one of the only ways I'm going to as well. So,
well, I have lost my Vosteed mink. That is one of my favorite things we've ever released. I say we, you know, but one of my favorite things Vosteed's ever released. And oh boy, it is awesome. And I had it clipped on my backpack and stuff, but it was a get home bag, and I had it on my right shoulder. So when I put my gun up, it would hit the thing. So I took it off. Now I don't know where it is, but it's really sweet. I feel like you'd like it. But another one that I can suggest is the LT Wright Patriot.
Yes, that is on my list for sure.
LT Wright will be, I think they are every year at Georgia Bushcraft. So bring you a little bit of money and get you one. And, well, speaking of carry commission, they did not the Patriot. Do you remember which knife it is?
I don't
remember.
That's a good question, because I don't have any of their knives yet. I'm really looking forward to getting into that for sure.
Well, Carry Commission did one that was with LT Wright. Oh, it wasn't the Patriots. Anyone in the comments that know, help us out. Oh, man. I can't remember the name of it. It had something to do with like freedom or something. But anyways, they had one with Python micarta and Magna Cut. And oh my goodness, it was beautiful. You'll have to look that up if you get a second.
That's a combo right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's gorgeous. Now it was out of my price range when they dropped them and all. But this one, I think you can find these. You can find like green ones. Green micarta would be the one I'd want. They had this one at Smoky Mountain when I went on my honeymoon and picked it up. But I think they go from, some of them you can find for 75 all the way up to like 120, 130 from LT Wright. And honestly, that's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
I'm pretty impressed with them.
And again, I mean, we have to echo this with everything that we say with EDC purchases. Most of the time, as with anything else that's made of quality materials and different things like that, you are going to get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
And I rave and I love to rave about the Civivi Mini Praxis, right? It's just a wonderful, wonderful little knife and a wonderful little folder, but it's gonna, I mean, you're not gonna be able to pound that thing. You're not gonna be able to, put it into some super hard use stuff. And if you do, odds are it's gonna probably buckle under that kind of pressure. And so, again, it's one of those kinds of things where you need to make sure that what you're buying is what you're buying. You're buying good steel. You're buying probably premium materials. You're buying a little bit of the name. Remember back in the day when a Sony TV or a brand name, brand name shoes, brand name stuff. You're paying for that brand name. Well, you might be paying for that a little bit in EDC gear as well, but. Anyway, just want to put that in there just as kind of a reminder to people that are I hear people constantly saying it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. And I try to move towards more budget EDC stuff on my channel as to appeal to the masses. But at the same time, sometimes you can't. Sometimes there's a knife out there like a news knife that's $200 that's worth every penny, and it's going to be around for a long, long time. And it's going to be with me for a long, long time. And I'm really looking forward to that. So anyway, that's a little, ooh, look at that.
Well, oh, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off, but I was going to make the point. People, this is from Off Grid Knives. A pretty, I've got one of their fixed blades here, and I mean you can tell that's a beefcake right there, right? Huge, huge. And this, as far as folders go, is pretty beefy. But this is not going to hold up to the abuse that this is. I mean, this, as thick as the blade stock is, it's full tang, G10 handles. You can put this thing through all kinds of stuff, and it's not going to fail.
What kind of steel's on that one?
I think this one's just D2.
D2.
And this is 154 cm, G10, same materials other than steels, of course, but then it does that. That's where the failure point is. Obviously, I'm not saying anything new. Everybody knows failure point is the lock.
Right.
But that's just the difference. Like this little guy right here. I don't feel bad beating this up because, not like thrashing on it or anything, but taking it, I cut straps on this toolbox behind me. The box that it came in, cut the straps. I don't like doing that with my folders and like M390 and stuff because what if I mess up, chip it, stuff like that. This is A2 tool steel. And I can just throw it back on the work sharp real quick, get an edge back, just a ceramic rod, boom, you're good. And also the durability of it. So honestly, in a survival situation, I think I'd rather have this much more than this.
Yeah.
This is going to get me through most things. But what about when that whatever hard task comes up, So, and I know we're getting out of like realistic things. We open Amazon packages, for goodness sake. That's like 90% of what we do with our EDC, right? Especially our knives.
It is, and we hear a lot of that kind of stuff, like, oh, we're only opening packages with it and stuff. But I don't know about you, but I put my knives through some stuff. In fact, I'm getting ready to do some things with some of my tools. I got to put up 3 or 4 signs next week on telephone poles around our campus here. I'm going to be using some of these tools in a pretty non-Amazon package opening way. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
The actual tool part of my EDC, yeah, it gets beat up sometimes. But my knife is, I'll be 100% honest. Let me think. Excuse me. My knife might be the least used part of my EDC.
Yeah,
to be 100% honest with you.
I could probably I can understand that.
This is the most used. My flashlight is probably like next to my chapstick, the thing I use the most,
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, my life is just so uneventful, whatever. It's just, I mean, how many times a day do you use a knife? Maybe once, maybe. And then, I mean, we can create things to do, cut open our food packages that we could totally tear with our hands.
Yeah.
But I use flashlight, honestly, probably 2 or 3 times every single day. But that's different from person to person. Now, I drive a truck. So most of the time I'm not having to use my knife to cut stuff unless I'm
Yeah.
cutting straps open, stuff like that. But for the most part, my flashlight is my most used piece.
Yeah. And I can understand that too. And you know what I've gotten more into, and one of the things I wanted to talk about with you was 2024 getting more into. One of the things I have not used hardly ever is a multi-tool. And I wanted to get more into I've had this SOG Power Pint for probably a year. And it's one of those kinds of things that I always forget that I have. You know what I mean? And I have started using it more and more and more and more with the different things that I've got to do. And it's just amazing to have really, when you think about with the stuff that I've got to do, working on different computer servers, putting up signs, doing different things, assembling different things, taking things apart, fixing different stuff around the building here. It's a multi-tool. It's a flashlight. Wayne says flashlight, screwdriver on my Leatherman. Yeah, that's basically what you really need to work on that stuff. And if you've got, especially with that new Leatherman arc, you've got the Magna Cut blade on it, you're going to have a really good quality hard use blade if you need it to be.
Yeah.
And what else do you need? And so there's that endless debate, right? Of, do we really need all this? Do we really need all this? All these products coming out, do we really need it? Well, we don't. If you think about what we really need, what do we actually really need?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys that I want to get more into that, talking about actual use case, actual needs, especially on the channel in 2024 for sure.
Yeah. And I don't, I try to be this way in anything, religion, politics, any of it. There's no need to lie to yourself. There's no need to be dishonest about stuff and just try to bat for your side. Do I need, let's see, what's next?
Hey, Marine X-Man, thank you very much. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
I forgot you could do super chats now. I'm monetized. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Wow. Sam here on EDC-NC just got monetized. So hooray for that. Thank you, Marine X. Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it that very, very much.
But do I need this? I don't remember what I paid for it. It was a birthday gift from a 21st birthday at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Do I need to pay, let's just say $250 for a knife? No, I don't. This will work. Honestly.
And honestly, could you get the same job done?
Knife.
If I went and bought 3 mini Praxises for $90, $30 a piece, would it get the same job done as, I don't know, buying a $150 knife with way better steel, way better ergonomics and things like that? Who knows, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's a matter of what you can use, what is available to you, and what you need to get the job done, really.
And a lot of it is that whole diminishing returns concept. Again, did I get my money's worth out of this knife? No, I didn't. I could have made not half an extra house payment, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just like going out to eat. I mean, you can either go spend $150 on a meal and have a great experience and have fun and have the experience, or you can go to McDonald's, still get the same nutrients or whatever, same calories. And that's kind of what it comes down to, is the experience. I like this knife because of how well it's machined, how well it's made, the blade steels, the looks, the ergonomics, the man who designed it, stuff like that. Do I need to spend all that money? No, but I really like the knife.
Gabe says the most used in my EDC is my fidget and BC powders.
Dude, that reminds me of my grandma. My grandma used to take BC powders like they were going out of style. Another fun little one. So this right here, these are fun little concept. It's mini fixed blades. I picked these up at Smoky Mountain. They were like $20 from Demco. Little bitty guys. They're so cute, aren't they? Andy Dickinson says, multi-tools with a bomb. I did some med training for an airport FD, and my payment was to fill a box of confiscated tools. I filled it with Leathermans and gave one to everyone at the firehouse. Oh, yeah, dude. Leathermans all day. I love them. They're great, just like the SOG Power Pint. And I know Taylor had a big thing in making these big, but power pints, the rebar, stuff like that, they're great for those. Oh crap! I don't have a toolbox around.
Yep.
But I did just tighten the screw, and it's just for like those everyday tasks that you come across.
Well, and one thing that I forgot about the power pint, just a quick thing before we move on, is that, and I'm looking at here at one of the most used tools that I had all year last year is the Milwaukee 1505.
Yeah.
And I bought this because I saw Zach in the Wilds thing on his channel, and I thought, I'm not going to use that. I have used it so much. But the SOG PowerPoint has if you can see right here, I don't know why is my video feed flickering there?
I think you're good.
I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But it fits a bit at the end right there. And I didn't realize that until yesterday. And I was out in the middle of nowhere in our campus and really didn't want to take 10 minutes to walk back to my office to figure something out and to get another tool. And I had this and I had bits, but I didn't have my driver with me. And sure enough, this worked in a pinch. So again, it is all about what you have. That is a $40 multi-tool. And when you're looking around at all the Leatherman Arc and stuff, of course, $230. You can get discounts on that if you're in the military and things like that. But $230, you're going to have everything on there that you need. And guess what? It's all about getting the job done. It's all about having what you need when you need it.
Yeah. And speaking of, so again, I drive a truck, and I drive, if you've ever like seen in a Lowe's parking lot, those trucks with the forklifts on the back, very similar to what I drive. Well, I was probably 30 to 45 minutes from any of our mechanics the other day and had my lift spring a hydraulic leak. And just, I would have maybe not been stranded, but not been able to finish the job or whatever. And I had this toolkit here. Speaking of, most viewed video on my channel is my everyday carry toolkit. Part 2 is coming soon. Got a lot coming. But these guys right here, the Knipex,
adjustable wrench.
Yeah, these are 7 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
So these are full size. And I fixed that hydraulic leak with this thing, no problem. I have little air, I guess you'd call them nipples on my truck. And they get knocked off sometimes if I scrape or something. So these in here, I have a kit to fix that and all that different stuff. So like you just said, carry what you need.
Yeah.
The Leatherman, for most people, will probably work everyday tasks. I don't keep a Leatherman on me anymore because this literally goes everywhere with me for the most part. I keep it in my backpack in my get home bag, and my get home bag pretty much goes everywhere with me. So
did you see what Andy said on the comments?
I did, yeah.
He did some med training for an airport, and he had a box of confiscated tools, and he filled it with Leathermans and gave one to everyone in the firehouse. That's super neat.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
And multi-tool,
Marine
like,
Access.
I have really, well, yeah, go ahead.
I always tell folks, when first starting, spend no more than 2 hours of your pay on any individual item. If salaried, divide your pay
by 2,000. That's
2,000. That's roughly your hourly. Oh yeah, if salaried. Okay, I get what you're saying now. Yeah. Well, honestly, like I've done on the channel a $100 EDC challenge from Amazon, and really, to get something I would be super comfortable with, I'd probably want about $200. But for $200, get you, something from Civivi, Syncut, Vosti does have some cheaper options, CJRB, about any of the budget brands you want to throw in there. You can get a full everyday carry. Pretty much doesn't matter what your setup is. If you want budget multi-tools, go watch Max Level EDC's channel, and he'll give you some that are $20, $30 that are great.
Yep.
But for $200, $150, you can get an EDC that'll last you almost the rest of your life, no problem. Other than like perishables, if you use a notebook, pen, something like that. But for the most part, you can get yourself set up for $150 to $200.
That's a great video idea right there. $250 for an EDC for the rest of your life. Like it's something that will seriously outlive you. $250, something like that. And you can fit almost any multi-tool under that bracket. and you can fit almost any set of tools probably that you can find, even the Knipex and all the different things that you put in there, the screwdrivers and things like that. You can fit all that. So if you wanted to individualize those tools, you could. But if you wanted to get it all done, that a lot of people raved about the Leatherman Arc, and I just didn't see the appeal. But I had not seen the appeal yet on multi-tools. And then I bought my first multi-tool last year. Believe it or not, the EDC guy on YouTube has not bought a multi-tool yet. And now I see.
Starting off strong with the Arc, aren't you?
Well, I haven't bought the Arc yet. I'm working on it.
Oh,
but I did get the free. I think I got it. Of course, I've had this SOG for a while, but I didn't really count that because I never had it on my person, never used it. It was kind of one of those things that I bought and didn't use. But I tell you what, I'm using it like crazy now, and I'm thinking, man, if I just had something more robust, if I had something more hard use, maybe with the Arc. Now, I did see the stuff about, the breaking belt clip from Taylor Martin. I did see all the stuff that Max Level Dominic over there, he broke his cutters in the middle, just clipping something nice. But you're right, it is expensive. And MarineX says it is very expensive. I've got the free T4. He says the P4 and the Wave. What's an MUT? You know what that is?
Well, the Mutt, isn't that the AR-15 tool?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which there's a guy, I got a guy building me an AR-15 right now. He lives over in other side of 65. So yeah.
I meant to ask you about guns yesterday if you were a gun guy. I'm starting to foray into that. Even considering starting a channel. I think that would be fun. But anyways, so talking about tools. This right here. It's a zero feud pouch, just a little bitty guy. And I used to keep a pair of Knipex, a small Wero screwdriver, and a bit set. And that will do most of your Leatherman tasks. If you want to throw a small Victorinox in here, then you've got the file, all the other little stuff. But, for the price of a Leatherman, you can throw all that together and have something that does a better job. Multi-tools are what is the jack of all trades, master of none. It's like, this is a good plier, but it's not as good as like a small pair of 4-inch Knipex. It's a good screwdriver, but it's not as good as a bit driver and that's the whole point of them, is to just get the task done with something in your pocket. But I would suggest, instead of going out and spending, seems like the cheapest thing you can get from Leatherman that I would suggest would probably be the rebar. And you can get it for 75 to 100, I think. So I think for $75, especially for 100, I could build you a really nice little toolkit that would do most things that the Leatherman does.
Yeah. Wayne says he carried a Leatherman Wave since his deployment to Iraq in 2005. I was actually in Iraq in 2003 and 2004 in the military, and I had no idea that they were that old. I thought the Wave was a relatively modern. Yeah, I thought it was a relatively modern thing. I knew Leathermans have been around for forever, since the 80s. But at the same time, I didn't know that the Wave, the model of the Wave, was actually that old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so, so again, I think the Wave may be one of those really good middle tier multi-tools that is pretty much good for everybody, and the price is just about right. And of course, Wayne also says that there's a great discount for military and first responders. You should definitely get on that. Wayne has actually helped me get inspired to get my my VA ID. So I'm actually working on getting a Veterans Affairs VA ID right now. So that's really cool. And so I'll be able to take part in some of that stuff. But ID.me, GovX, you can sign in with those things. They'll pull your records and everything. It's really, really great. Google says the Wave was released in 98. Really?
That's crazy.
Wow. I was a sophomore in high school in 98.
I was not born.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Wow.
Andy says, I have them all, and I love my Skeletal for EDC.
The Skeletal, yeah, that's one I haven't had either, is the Skeletal, and I've heard so many people rave about it. They love it.
I think the Raptor, the shears, they seem like they would be pretty useful.
Yeah.
I might have to check out some of those. Wave also says, Google says the Wave. Yeah, okay. That's nuts.
That is nuts. But if you think Leatherman's been around, yeah, he says not born, LOL. I'm in my 40s and you're in your 20s, and we were talking about that on the phone the other day, man. You got You got a lot of good stuff ahead of you, buddy.
Yeah.
Just married, just got you a good job, got something good going on YouTube. Yeah, it's going really well.
Yep. Definitely blessed. Loren, how you doing, sir? Thanks for stopping in.
So, next, I want to talk about this. Whoops, see, I messed it up. See, there we go. Womp, womp. This is the Corgi by Vosteed. This is my first. They sent me the brass with the, yeah. Is that, now I wanted to ask you, this is the Corgi, obviously, by Vosteed, and you have an affiliation with Vosteed, so just to get that out there. But this is a green micarta, smooth green micarta. This inlay right here, is that, it feels like brass.
Yes, I believe it is.
Is it brass or just gold colored metal or what?
Brass.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 14CN, 14C, 28N steel.
Oops.
Very nice. And boy, this thing is really good. Yeah, check that out.
Yeah, this one.
Did they not send me the right one? Were you not?
I was going to get them to send you the black one, black blade.
Oh, I actually like this one better. The satin finish. Satin finish is actually really love that. I thought it was interesting that when you look at the top here, it almost looks like it has ears.
Yeah,
but that means you can front flip it, or you can use it like it doesn't have a thumb stud, but you can flip it from the back as well. So I'm always gonna, I never could get there we go. It's a really smooth knife. I'm looking forward to getting some more Vosteed stuff and thinking about it. And I mean, it just looks like it's really well built. I love the screw, the hardware on it looks like it's from a Mac. Looks like an Apple product put together. Really nice. Really nice.
Yeah.
Put something on my Instagram the other day and got a few people messaging me saying, "Hey, I've had a Vosteed in my cart for a while, and you just kind of pushed me over the edge." And I'm like, good to go.
Yeah, I really like. So
bead blasted. Is that bead blasted for the win? Is that what Andy was saying?
That might be what the blade finish is.
Is it?
More like a blasted finish.
It is bead blasted. Yeah. Not really satin. I have a hard time figuring out satin between bead blasted, but yeah, this is what I prefer anyway. Black is great. Black is usually great pretty much any time, but I absolutely love it.
These are two more of them.
Oh,
Jade.
That blue one's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty sweet. Also the brass. I believe this is a titanium inlay.
Oh, nice.
On this one. And they're going to start doing some engraved ones. And here's the extra large Corgi.
I don't know if you can speak to this or not, but and you said they might be coming out with a mini version of that.
They are coming out with a mini.
Okay, they are. And you said it's like March, right?
Probably before March.
Oh, so that's the mini version right there.
No, this is the regular size. This is the big size.
Oh, so there's going to be 3 sizes of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whole family.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Cole Singertis.
Yeah, go ahead and say what Cole said.
I am a service technician. I carry a few tools on me everywhere I go. I love my Wave Plus. Carry a Weha. I think it's supposed to be Weha.
Yeah,
bit kit and the Leatherman extension. Also carry a 5-inch Knipex, 4-inch adjust point. I prefer the 5-inch Knipex as well.
Yeah, me too. That set, whatever Cole has right there, that set of stuff right there is just, that will get the job done. Basically anything that you need to do. So
yeah, and
that's a good EDC right there.
One thing I thought about building out one time was Knipex. They make a belt pouch, like a belt sheath.
They do,
and you can put your Knipex in it.
Yeah, extra stuff on the sides and stuff. Yeah,
the adjustable wrench or the both the Cobra and the pliers wrench.
I can either confirm or deny that that's in my cart and has been in my cart for like 3 months. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Might have to bite the bullet on that.
Yeah, go for it. There's somebody has a video on it on YouTube, something similar, but you know how we do. We think we can do better. So I would like to try that one time. I think that would be good. But okay, well, our next topic that we were going to talk about today was slip joints. So let's fire that up. So I'm going to go ahead and start out by saying I don't own many slip joints. The ones I do are lower end, except for one, and I didn't bring it out here because I'm a big dummy. But it's from Fox.
I tell you what, let's bring that out. And I want to ask a question before we dive into this. What is the difference between, and I'm kind of asking, I kind of know, but I'm also kind of asking, what is the difference between a traditional knife and a slip joint? If I'm looking at a case knife from, I don't know, it could be a modern case knife from 2018 or one from 1995 or one from 1965, right? Those are just, regular little folding knives. They don't lock necessarily. Some of them don't lock. I know that some case knives do. But what is the difference between a traditional knife and a slip joint? What do you say, Sam? What's the technical difference there?
Name. Really?
That's it. Okay, good. Because I know that there's probably people out there wondering that. And so I wanted to make sure that I knew, so I didn't look like a fool, but I feel like it's just it's just like a modern slip joint is a modern name, right? Yeah. The QSP Hedgehog.
We've been talking about that.
Both of us are looking forward to getting one of those. That thing looks amazing.
So I think the difference is traditional knife, old school.
Look at that.
Old school materials.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty funky. Old school. So traditional, maybe. But you see, slip joint is a mechanism. It's a slip joint. It slips into the position by a metal joint, metal spring. So,
but does it lock?
Traditional is just old school.
So Gabe says shape. Gabe, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like that's what defines a slip joint versus a? Yeah. Now, what do you got there? What is this?
This is from Fox.
Okay.
These run about 130. I got this in a trade. Carbon fiber, M390.
That's sick.
Comes with a pretty cool slip in here. I'll let you hear the.
And that does lock. No, it doesn't lock. It just snaps into place. Has like that two. Yeah, that's every traditional knife that you've got. Is it snaps into those two positions? Oh, that's a sick. Oh, did that come with it?
It did.
Oh,
very nice. But yeah, maybe so. So I bought I actually do have another one. It's the Case Sodbuster Junior, and I like it. I mean, it's like $30. So what do you lose by buying that, right?
Yeah. Case Trappers are great. I mean, you can't go wrong with Case, right? That is the talk.
But you see, that's the thing nowadays. So Case, they have decent stuff. Excuse me, my micro thing is loose here.
Most of the people say, Gabe says, most of the time people say traditional, it has a thinner shape. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I think kind of like whoever said it is, Gabe, that shape. So like, Hawkbill, traditional, the spade blades, the trappers, the sodbusters, insert peanut, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so maybe that's what peanuts and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but wait. So here we go. I think this would be a good way to say it. All slip joints, or all traditional knives, are slip joints, but not all slip joints are traditional knives. Maybe that's the way to say it.
Now that is what you are smarter than the average bear there. You know that.
Here's what Gingerfish. I believe a traditional has a set of shapes and materials as a slip joint has no roys. There you go.
So a traditional slip joint is just kind of whatever the manufacturer wants it to be.
Yeah, as long as it has that slip joint mechanism. It's like
doesn't really fall into it. It's almost like a new category in and of itself. It kind of it may have traits of a traditional knife, but I think that's where the trend, I think that's one of those, we're talking about trends. That's one of those trends that we're going to see this year is in 2024 is fixed blades, traditional knives, slip joints. That was one of my things. I thought those three items are going to be, I think they're going to be big. Like Ultim was big last year, 2022, 2023. I think that those kinds of knives are going to be pretty big. And so, really I'm looking forward to getting into a lot of those because a lot of those traditional knives are at local knife shows around here. When I go to a local knife show here in in Middle Tennessee, you're going to see 85% of them are going to be your traditional, slip joint-esque knives. And again, that's great. And they're going to have a million of them too. I don't know if you've ever been to a traditional knife show like that, but man, that some of these guys have got, $10,000 worth of case knives in one little case, man. It's unbelievable. So yeah, anyway, just, I'm thinking that's going to be pretty big this year.
So Dopey might be right there. Maybe I'm wrong. Traditional knives don't necessarily have to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Example, the gunslinger jack. I think we're seeing a new category, honestly. We call them slip joints. I love it too, because it shows a lot of experimentation. It shows a lot of people using, some of these unbelievable unique designs that are coming out. It's just incredible. And so what you've got here is you've got necessarily fixed traditional slip joints and all this other stuff coming into trends right here. And Andy says Ultim fixed and slips in 2024. Slips, like what is he?
Fixed blades and slip joints.
Oh, slip joint. Yeah. Okay. See, I didn't even know that.
But sorry. I was going to see what he said. But if it's modern materials and style, then it's a modern. Oh yeah, yeah. So the Bear, the BEXAR or BEXR, however they spell it, from you have tactile. One, don't you, Chad?
Yes, I do, and I don't have it with me, but I do have my tactile hat though. So.
There you go. So, Andy, have you seen the BEXAR Bear? I guess it's technically Bear because that's how you pronounce the place in Texas. Have you ever seen it? Because it's pretty sweet.
They market that one as a slip joint, and I do have an Ultim version of that. And boy, it's the greatest. It really is. Yeah. Magna cut. Right.
So I have the opportunity to design a knife. I work so closely with Vosteed. If I, of course, it has to be good. They're not going to produce something that's not going to sell.
What an unbelievable opportunity, man!
I know. I haven't put it into
play intimidating. Yet. That's intimidating.
Oh man, I want to do it, but I haven't just taken the time to do it.
Let me help you.
Yeah. But
that's like my dream.
A slip joint?
Well, it's going to be the easiest, right? It's going to be the easiest to design because you don't have a lock. You don't have anything like that. So it's going to be the easiest to design, and you're going to have a wide variety of blade styles that you can have. You can use a bunch of different materials. I'd say that's where you start. That's just my opinion. If Civivi came to me and said, we want you to design a knife, which they're not going to, but if they did, it would be a slip joint first, because it's just one of those easier designs, Now,
I don't know. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah, I can see you just fine.
Out of stock. I am trying to find this link for Andy. I think they're out of stock everywhere, though. That's the problem. Yeah, they're sold out.
Were you looking?
Yeah, I was looking on Google for them. They're sold out everywhere. But if you just type in tactile BEXAR, you'll find it. You can type in BEXAR Ultim.
And they have restocks on those pretty regularly. They had a restock at the first of the year, and it sold out pretty quickly. So I think they make pretty limited quantities of those, and they sell more of their flippers, their Mavericks and stuff like that. They sell more of those, but they have had some limited edition BEXARs. I'm a huge fan of Tactile. They've never sent me anything. I don't know anybody there. I'm just a huge fan of their design and aesthetic, and they really do a great job of that kind of stuff. It's very expensive, but it's very good stuff.
You ever seen one of these? It's an old school Gerber. I just found those while I was looking for slip joints.
My dad had one of those, man.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so slip joints. If I design one for Vosteed, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Whether it'll be a fixed blade, that would be the easiest. No folding mechanism. No worry about it folding back into the handle.
You don't worry about anything.
Fixed blade.
Actually, I'm going to back up and say that's probably the easiest one to do is a fixed blade. Hey, I got that little guy. I love that thing.
You got the watermelon?
Rough Rider. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of
that's a great coin pocket knife. I love that.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I love putting that as a coin pocket. It's nice and sharp. It was cheap. I think I paid $12 for it at a local knife show. Rough Riders actually show up at local knife shows a lot. And
Really?
they make some pretty good stuff. And that thing is not but about what, 3 inches? Got
If
like a
that
1-inch blade on it. Yeah, it's
opened, it might not be 3 inches.
yeah.
But so speaking of Rough Rider, I almost bought one when we were in Tennessee. They have one, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's about $20, and it's actually like for what you look for in a slip joint, it's actually good.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's I don't think the steel is VG10. I think it's like a pot metal, but the walk and talk's good. Some of them have steel, copper, micarta, all kinds of different handles, and I cannot remember the name of it. But it's
It's not the
somebody help me
tadpole,
out
is
if you
it?
guys know.
It's not the tadpole, is it?
No,
No.
this is a slip joint.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know which one you're talking about, though.
They also acquired Queen. I don't know if people know that or not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, that's what Greg, or I hope he could tell me that. Uh-oh. If not, he's going to be in trouble. But we had talked about, they acquire old companies with a good name, and they'll revamp them. I don't know if Rough Rider was their internal brand the whole time, but now they own Rough Rider, and they're the ones that make them. And what they do with these brands is they take designs that are going out of style, old Boy Scout knives, stuff like that just aren't made anymore.
Yeah.
And then they'll make them. They do that with their hatchet company too. What is the name of their hatchet company? I can see the place they sell them in my mind in the store, but I can't remember the name of it. But what, honey? Marbles. Look at that. My wife came in handy. Marbles. And they make like the old Boy Scout axe, just super tiny, something that you're not going to like be chopping wood with, or even be kind of hard to chop kindling with it maybe. But they revamp these old designs, which is really cool. But they've done that with Queen too. So now they own, the old Queen knife manufacturing name.
That's amazing. That's cool. Yeah, I think about old brands like Schrade and Camillus.
Yeah.
And how they've just kind of gone by the wayside. But man, I still see a ton of those out there at these knife shows and everything, like all sorts of stuff. Gabe Frost Cutlery took over Case back in the day. Really?
Is that backwards? Did Case take over Frost Cutlery? Or is that the correct?
I feel like Case has been pretty strong for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact,
very long time.
They've bought out. I think they bought out stake in like Schrade or Camillus or something like that. So, yeah, that's interesting.
The thing I'm learning in one of the guys that I talk to a lot, and we're going to be doing some work together in coming year, podcasts, stuff like that. It seems like Gerber, and a couple of these other companies like Cold Steel, some of these bigger, I'll put it this way, Walmart companies, the companies you see just slammed in the Walmart, a lot of them are owned by these huge conglomerations that own all kinds of different things and just want to sell the $10, $15 knives.
Right. And knives are not their first and last product.
Yeah. It's like, well, like, you want to talk about Gerber. Gerber has kind of, well, here, I've got to give it.
It makes me so sad too, because I grew up on Gerber. Back in the day, my dad and I had a bunch of Gerber and Case. That was it. That was all we had, and see, that's cool, man.
Now that's a good looking knife, right?
Yeah.
I love it. The design's great. It actually works pretty good in the kitchen. I mean, it's a good knife.
Kind of steel.
It's like pot metal steel, maybe 420.
Okay.
Maybe 440, $50. What are you doing? Like, you don't care about the customer?
Well, I feel like them, and I think CR Columbia River Knife and
Sheath is crap too.
I feel like CRKT has kind of had a resurgence.
Yes.
I feel like
definitely.
They're having a pretty good resurgence now, but they were kind of down in the dumps there for a while in the knife world, especially 5, 6, 7 years ago. But I feel like Gerber is just squandering an opportunity. You know what I mean? I feel like they're just not hitting it. I don't think they know what they're doing. They've got some good looking stuff out there, but I feel like in our community, it's good looking stuff that nobody's talking about. And it's kind of one of those things, like I kind of want to get in contact with Gerber and see if they'll send me something to review. I don't even know how I'd start doing that, but I kind of want to just get some stuff and review it and see what kind of response it gets, because I feel like people have just forgotten about that brand, you know?
Well, the reason people have forgotten about them, I think, and I don't want to get into this too much because I don't want to ruin that first podcast me and that guy are doing, but I think the reason people have forgot about them is they become forgettable. Now, their designs, great. Just like, here, let me get that back out.
Hey, I just picked up a Kershaw. Dopey says Kershaw's been stepping it up. They absolutely have.
They have.
I picked up a Kershaw that's amazing.
I mean, look at that. Yeah, it's a good looking knife. Good ergonomics. The sheath is garbage and the steel is crap, and they charge like $50 to $55 for it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They've got some good fixed blades designed with okay sheaths. They're small ones, but again, it's overpriced for the steel. Yep. I mean, look, me and you were just talking about this yesterday. I would rather be stuck in the woods for the rest of my life with something in like A2, 1095, something that I can take my work sharp, not even the precision adjust, the field sharpener, and slap an edge back on it. You know, I chip it, I'm like, that stinks, but I can get that back pretty easily.
Yep.
But there's a fine line to walk between 1095 and something you make frying pans out of, and M390. You know, you need to land somewhere in the middle with a usable knife and stay there. For, you know, on the low price end, I understand. You want to cut margins. You want to cut costs anywhere you can. But obviously for that knife, you can get something like, I mean, American-made, handmade sheath, $85. Okay,
and why would
I understand where the $30 extra came from.
Why would I pay $55 or $65 for something made out of pot metal when I can get something for $85 that's handmade with a great sheath on it and it's got good steel? Why am I going to do that? Well, you're not, is the thing. If you do any kind of research, I feel like they're going for the low hanging fruit. Loren says Gerber seems like they are trying to do more, but still using crap materials. Yeah, that's exactly what it seems like. And 14C, you know, 14C is a great steel. You should just, I mean, even if you've got to pick one and go with it, pick D2 or pick 14C or something, and just go with a good steel instead of this awful crap steel. You know, when people buy your stuff, I feel like they're going for the low hanging fruit, and they're like, oh, we'll just get the people in Walmart, right?
Exactly.
We'll just get the people in Target that are looking for a multi-tool that they're going to use 3 times, and then it's going to sit in a drawer for 10, 15 years. Well, how about you aim higher? How about that?
Yeah.
How about you make something out of premium steel and you get it into knife shops, you get it into YouTubers' hands, you get back into it. I really would love to see Gerber survive, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, and the problem is, so, you know, we're talking about CRKT stapling it up. This might be this exact one. Was my first pocket knife.
I feel like that's not my first, a lot of people's first pocket knife, man. The M16. Yep, it's super popular.
And I think, like, this is, when I say first pocket knife, this is like the first one I went out and bought because I needed a knife. And I mean, it was cool at the time, worked well, but CRKT has so stepped it up lately. I mean, look at this. Talking about $55-$60.
Yes, I want. What is that one called? Yes, I want that one so bad.
D2.
That is the wickedest. Now, I want to ask you a question about that. Is the top? So it goes at an angle. Is the top end sharp as well?
It is.
Oh, that's so sick.
And look at that wicked tip right there.
But see, somebody is not gonna like that CRKT leaning on 20 or 30 years of design chops and saying, "Hey, let's put something out there that doesn't look like anything else." That's just cool, man. And I saw, it's just one of those things. I saw that, I was like, man, that's going to be one of those I get. But yeah, Andy says 90% of the market is Walmart people. I tend to agree with that.
And that's the problem. It's selling.
And that's where they're making their revenues, and they're in the black, and they're doing just fine. I just feel like it disappoints me that my childhood brand, I guess, that they're not doing more. When somebody like a CJRB or a Kershaw or a Civivi is making them look like fools, honestly.
Oh yeah.
It makes me sad.
And so I know there's still not so much in the knife community. There is definitely a percentage of them, but there's definitely like, oh, it's made in China. I don't want it. And I do understand that to a certain extent. Okay, whatever. But especially these Gerber brands, you ask somebody nowadays, where's Kershaw, Gerber, CRKT made? They'll say, made in America. I had something similar to that happen to me. I don't know if he said anything about it being made in America, but he's like, oh yeah, Kershaw, good knives. I'm like, well, to a certain extent, some of them are, yeah. It's like they've got the market so gripped with their old knives, the way things were, like the Kershaw Link. No, what's the Ken Onion design? Leak. That line.
That
Is it
one
a good
was
knife yet?
iconic, right? Yeah.
Yeah, decent knife. But for the price, oh boy, you can get so much better. But people don't know that because they walk by the Walmart counter and they see the CRKT, Kershaw, Buck's another one. They see these brands, they see the best that they have to offer, and they think this is the peak tip quality.
Yep.
And Buck still makes some of their stuff in the U.S. So does Kershaw. CRKT starting to come back around to it. I think Gerber has
Mexico.
3 or 4 models that are made in America.
Yeah.
Now, but then I think they kind of get the made in America slogan slapped onto everything else. Not literally, of course, but I mean like in people's minds.
Yes.
That Gerber is good because it's made in America. Kershaw's good because it's made in America. And then they'll go spend $30, $40 on a Kershaw that was made in China and not even think twice about it.
Can I give you an unpopular opinion here?
Let's hear it. Make it really unpopular though.
I don't. I'm gonna make it really unpopular. How about this? I could give 2 craps where a knife is made.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? Made in USA probably just means that one part was made in the USA. Maybe just the steel was made in the USA. The rest of it is made in Mexico, Bangladesh, China. Who knows, right?
Assembled in US is another one.
Exactly. Assembled in USA. That's a big one too, because, oh yeah, we're assembled in USA. Well, that means all your parts and sources and everything like that. And so I could care less where it's made, because when you put out a knife like a Corgi, another plug here, when you put out a quality knife like that, when you put out a mini Praxis for $30, and it works extremely well, and it's going to be good for 9.9 out of 10 people, I don't care where it's from. And again, would I prioritize a US maker over a Chinese maker? Probably not. Would I buy US made stuff, like for instance, Tactile's US made in Texas, right? That's cool. But it shouldn't be, you shouldn't limit yourself to say, well, I'm only going to buy US made products because America first and blah, 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 and all sorts of stuff. That's fine to have that attitude. And if you're all about American made stuff, that's great. I'm going to have a video coming out about the best American made stuff. But one of my points is going to be this very point I've been thinking about is, guys, it doesn't matter where it's made now, because odds are it's not really all made here anyway. So anyway, that's just one of those kind of bees in my bonnet, kind of trying to get that across to people, is that made in USA needs to be in quotations most of the time.
And speaking of made in America or made in China, and you're not going to offend me if you say that kind of stuff, but these guys right here, Fosti, it's not just like I make money off helping them kind of thing. Actually, I do have the ability to, but I don't make the videos for them at the pace I should. But anyways, point is, they're my friends. UA, the owner, Farah, Kareen, Johnny. I've never met Kareen, but Farah, Johnny, and Kareen, and UA, I mean, they're all my friends, and they're great people. You've got to remember, when you're buying stuff from China, and I'm not saying go buy stuff from China, I'm very against China, very against the PRC, the People's Republic of China, or whatever, the communist regime, all that. Very against it. Hate it. I don't hate people, but can hate sin and stuff like that, you know, according to my belief. But I hate the way that country is run as far as communism. But the Chinese people, you have to set to the side. They are, I know that their tax money goes back to China, all that different stuff, but you got to think of the people you're buying it from. If you meet some of these people from Artisan, some of these people from Civivi, some of these people from Vosti, CJR beats under Artisan, you know, Kaiser, these people are, in most cases, good people who could use your support.
Well, they're just like you and I. They're just, they're hardworking people. They're designers. They're engineers. They're, you know, people that put this stuff together and pound this stuff out and sharpen these blades. Somebody's got to do it. So it's the same difference. Now I'm not saying you shouldn't buy American, obviously. And you know, Loren says right here, have you seen Dead Recognized? Good grief. Dead Recognized. I just Googled that and looked at that. Sean makes everything in America down to the screws. That is admirable. That is admirable. But when you look at the Ridgeback, for instance, Ridgeback Modified Series 1, Pattern 1, you look at the cost of these, and again, premium materials, all made in America, all sourced in America, $450 for a knife. Now, granted, those are super high end and things like that. You're going to get the same with your tactile stuff. You're going to have, there's not a knife on there that's less than $200. And so you're going to pay for it. But at the same time, if you like what you like and you like a certain type of knife, don't worry if it's USA made or not, because it's so global these days. But and we shouldn't be worried about that too much. And again, I think it's some of these companies put the USA made in there, and it's false advertising, obviously, a little bit. But some of these companies, now somebody like Sean, who is probably a independent maker and creator, he probably does it all sourced. He probably does it. But when you look at a bigger company, maybe like Tactile, or maybe even like I don't know, somebody like a Gerber who says stuff is assembled or made in the USA, it kind of gets into a little bit of a gray area there. So anyway, I think that's just an important point to make. And people that say, well, I'm only going to buy a knife. I've heard several guys be like, I'm only buying knives made in the USA. And it's like, man, you're going to limit yourself that way. Anyway.
Well, another thing is, you're going to buy. So I watched this guy on YouTube, Wrangler Star. I'm sure a lot of people have watched him. Yeah. I like his videos. Somebody made the point, like, he can be very whiny. And I think you're right. He's a very opinionated man and stuff like that. But I like the videos he makes, you know, the stuff he does in the videos. It's fun to watch. That's like a dream thing.
He's the reason why we all have a Benchmade bug out, right?
Mine was a 940.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, no. Yeah. So you're right. 940. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that was the first, like, that's what got me into knives.
Yeah.
Was Wrangler Star was like, get a 940, get a 940, get a 940. And that was grab it. That was the first high-end knife I ever bought. And boy, did that cause me a lot of problems. Give me a lot of blessings too, though.
But Benchmade will say they're USA made, right?
Yeah.
Where do they get their knife scales and stuff and their parts and their spacers from, though?
You know, I've seen a statistic, and I can't remember what percentage of it is, but there is a certain percentage that you have to say made in the USA.
And it's not very much. It's like 30% or something. I can't remember exactly what percentage. Right.
That's what I had in my mind too. I think it's like 30% or 70. Maybe I was thinking 70 because it was 30. You know, something.
Right. For some guys to say like, oh, I'm only buying USA stuff. Well, like, you realize, like, as global as it is, as I've said 3 or 4 times now, you're not really getting 100% USA made unless you know the creator personally, unless you know where they got it from and all this other stuff. In the case of the Dead Reckon knives and stuff, you probably don't know where it's all from. So anyway, just an interesting point to make, you know, about some stuff and about people thinking that, well, USA made stuff is better. Well, is it?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, tell that to Riot. Some of the best, just like the Karambit they released recently. That thing is an insane piece of engineering.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's made in China. And if you bought that same thing from America, you're going to be paying out the butt.
Exactly. It'd be 2.5 times more. And
yeah,
you know, that's just the nature of that's why does Apple make all their iPhones in China? Why do they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because it's cheaper to do. It's because that the iPhone would cost $3,000 if we didn't make it. If we didn't make it there, it already costs way too much. So
yeah, and don't let Greg Medford see this stream. He will come after us.
Greg,
I've met Greg. He's very wide open. But somebody brought up the Jack Wolf knives a while back when we were talking about traditionals. Love those. I've got to get myself one. They are absolutely awesome. I saw your message.
Let's just say I've got a long list of knives that I want to get as first time to check out. And Dopey here says, if you go further down the line, nothing is 100% USA made. That's the point I've been trying to make. Yeah. We don't have cobalt mines for the blade steel. Apex Alchemy has a great video about it. Ooh, I'm going to write that down.
Apex Alchemy. I think that's the name I've heard.
Yeah, I think I've heard that too, but I'm going to go check that out. But man, it's all subjective with that. But yeah, I've got a long list of knives that I want to check out. Give me as we kind of end our stream here today, and I'm not in charge of your stream, but
you're good.
I got to go. Give me 3 brands here's some qualifiers that you don't have a knife or EDC item from them yet that you want to get and make some content about this year. Give me 3 brands, three knives, whatever.
You go first because I need to think for just a second.
Okay. My first is Jack Wolf. I want to get one of those. Never had one of those. I want to get a full size. Number 2 is a full size Leatherman. I'm going to try to use my military discount to get an ARC. So Wayne Reeves, Marine X, was telling me, we were swapping some messages back and forth. He was telling me that with a military discount, you can upload your military ID to leatherman.com. He got his military, I think he said he got his ARC for $160, which is a fantastic discount. And I don't know about you, but that's almost like a 40% discount or something. So
that's crazy.
So yeah, I'm going to absolutely try to get it that, because that really was the only boundary for me. If that Leatherman ARC was less than $200, I'd probably be getting it. I probably already have it, honestly. So anyway, that's number 2. And number 3, I crossed off CJRB on my list, but getting a mini pyrite. But I want to get, that is one of those brands that I want to get in touch with. I want to get into with. I've already got across my list off on Vosteed.
I have an email, by the way, for CJRB if you
okay,
if you want it.
I really want to get in touch with CJRB and Vosteed. I really want to talk about some of their knives this year. Really looking forward to doing some of that. That's my top 3 that I want to look at for 2024 on the channel. Okay.
By the way, have you seen the mica?
Oh man, that's awesome.
That's pretty much the mini pyrite, but
I love their blade finishes. I'm sorry, not blade finishes. The finishes that they have on their scales and handles.
I know,
it
right?
It seems like nobody's doing those, and it seems like they've got this kind of aesthetic that nobody else has right now. So
you will not be able to get this one. I bought my fiance one, bought myself one. Hers was a black and pink. Mine was a green and satin, and I swapped them. So hers is pink and satin. Pink looks better with satin, and this looks better with black. But this is, it's pretty much the mini pyrite, but it's different enough in the handles and stuff that it's called something different. So it's pretty much a drop point.
It has one. Put those 2 back up there if you don't mind.
Woo.
That has one big difference. I have, and I showed this on my video, but I have arthritis in my right hand. And yeah, that's how old I am. I'm
got a case of the OLD. I hear you.
That's right. And to me, right there, having a thumb stud versus having that finger hole. Is that what you call that? Finger?
Yeah, like
finger
a thumb
stud?
hole, whatever.
Thumb hole. The difference there, that seems to be a big difference for me. So I would love to have one that has a thumb stud instead of that hole, even though that thumb hole is fairly unique. It kind of gives it that unique kind of design. Nobody else really has that. Other than like a Spyderco or something. That's one of those I'd really like to check out for sure.
Another one.
I have 2 of those. I love the QSP mini penguins. I've got 2 full-size penguins. I've got 2 mini-size penguins. I've actually got one that looks like blue jeans. It's a blue jean micarta. It's super cool, man. Now, what is that one?
Devo Nip.
That's right. You told me about that one the other day.
Yes. I can't wait till they come out with the slip joint of this.
That blade shape, though, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe says BP Custom Knives. I have had my eye on BP Custom Knives for a while. I want to get that Ultim Wasp. I've seen that one. I'm kind of falling off the Ultim train just a little bit, because I feel like that a lot of people are kind of, I wouldn't say ignoring it, but a lot of manufacturers have tried their Ultim offerings, and maybe they didn't sell as well as they thought they would. But then I see every now and then on Blade HQ and all sorts of different other places, I see Ultim stuff pop up all the time. So who knows? Who knows if it's going out of style, if it's going to still be here, but I'm still a huge fan. You got anything in Ultim, Sam?
I do not. Not a single thing.
See, that's a thing you need to make that a goal for 2024. Now, what is that? That's the Vosteed.
This is the Chipmunk from Vosteed.
Nice.
And one that I'll try to get them to send you is the mini Nightshade. Have you seen this?
Yeah, you have reviewed that one a bunch, and I don't know how I feel about the blade shape, the way it angles down like that. Because I've never had a blade really like that. I tend to see the mini the mini
next video right here. These two are going head to head.
So you're gonna put those head to head, and you're going to, I would think for ergonomics wise, that Vosteed is going to be really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
there's something weird about a curved blade.
It's
like it grips the material.
Weird. Yeah.
With the push cuts, pull cuts, it's excuse me, getting kind of loud. It kind of just, the material kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but you don't run out of edge.
Yeah, okay, I could see that.
But I don't know. It's going to be a good head-to-head. This is S30V. This is S35. This is GFN or whatever their handle material is. This is carbon fiber, deep carry pocket clip, around the same blade length. I think the mini bug out has a little more cutting edge. And somebody made the point, I'm affiliated with Vosteed. So be it. I'm going to be honest. If it comes down to it and the mini bug out just absolutely wrecks it, mini bug out gets the suggestion. One more I'll show before we go. Alone, speaking of Riot made M390. This is a knife I carried in my wedding. It's so beautiful. More traditional style. M390, G10, carbon fiber, titanium pocket clip, carbon fiber backspacer.
What is
Guess
that?
How much?
What is that? What's the brand on that one?
It's called the Olone Knives Rumson. And guess what? You can't get them anymore.
Gummits, why are you showing all these knives you can't get?
And $130.
$130? Really?
$130. Catch him at Blade Show this year. If he's there, maybe he has a few left. Maybe reach out to him on Instagram.
Okay.
Because when I talked to him, he was trying to get rid of them.
That's one of those types of knives that I love. I just love that kind of design, man. Especially with the index finger flipper right there. That changes everything for me on that.
Well, we will close it out there. I just want to say this might be the most viewed stream I've ever had. We had 20 or 19 or 20 in here at one point, and I got my first super chat. Let me pull that back up. Thank you so much to Marine X for that.
Yeah, thank you, Wayne.
Greatly
Appreciate it, man.
But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe. All those wonderful things. Chad, you got anything you'd like to say?
Man, just keep on carrying. Keep on doing good stuff. Keep being a great community like you guys are, and it has been absolutely wonderful to get in touch with a lot of you, and I cannot wait to take those relationships further in 2024. So thank you guys all for being here. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, everyone have a great day, and God bless. We'll see you next time.